morning. We are back again on another edition of your favorite morning program, QTV. This morning, I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for always tuning in. It's a pleasure to have you. And to our viewers in the United States of America, the likes of Uncle Mustafa Lee is added to the list. Not forgetting Uncle Moruba in Ohio, United States of America. And not forgetting brother Ibrahim Jawara, my grandchild to the former president Sadauda Kairaba Jawara. Not forgetting our viewers in the Philippines, Auntie Angela. We are saying hello as well in the UK.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I am Ibrahim Balde once again, and I'm with Mr. Adedrame. Good morning, Ade.
Good morning, Mr. Balde. How are you?
Very good. I mean, I'm okay. I am feeling very relaxed this morning.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, so how was your yesterday?
Yeah, my yesterday was fine. I spent running around trying to get hold of people in Guinea-Bissau because obviously it was a developing story. Things were changing all the time. So that was quite hectic, actually, just trying to get hold of somebody. But eventually we managed to do so. And, you know, we did a story on it.
Mr. Malika
last minute
is our newspaper review guest. Good morning, Mr. Ka.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Pleasure is mine, as always.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at the African code from the code, then the newspaper review. From the review, we would be talking to Ibrahima Drame, rather. I mean, the founder, Migrant Situation Foundation. Ibrahim has been very instrumental as far as migration reports, you know, it's concerned. I mean, he updates people as to what's happening, the situation back home. It's a very, I mean, interesting, you know, page that he got there, where you have to know what is the situation of a boat that left the Gambia 1 week ago and they didn't reach it. So at some point he will send you all the information.
That's right.
It will be very important to know to ask Ibrahim, how does he receive his information?
Indeed. I think that's when people read his stuff, that's what they always think, oh, you know, how is he getting this stuff? And how is it the authorities aren't getting it? But yeah, it will be interesting to see whether he will be willing to tell us that.
On the sidelines of this program, we'll also be talking to Momodu Gajaga. That would be at the end of the program, the ending segment on the Islamic Solidarity Games. And we'll also be having 3 guests in the studios as well. So let's take a look at the African code, and I'll give you the honor to read that.
Again,
Yeah.
wow. Wearing, and so if anybody wants to interpret this, don't go online and say, help me interpret this. We want you to crack your brains, you know, use your own imagination and intelligence to crack it, okay? Don't cheat and go on the internet. Wearing tusks is no trouble for the elephant. Wearing tusks is no trouble for the elephant.
Yeah.
Mr. Ka is already saying yes, because like he's got a handle on it.
It's interesting because tusks are heavy.
Yeah.
You know that. But for the elephant, that's a lightweight. And for anybody who was supposed to carry a tusk, you would understand, you know, the weightiness of it. So sometimes it's the weightiness of the things that you carry. Is it a burden that you can shoulder? Is it something you can carry on? Just like the elephant would handle its tusk. So this is, you know, the interpretation as in life. Sometimes you carry certain responsibilities. Are there responsibilities that you can discharge? Is it light on you? Is it heavy? Whether it's family matter, office, or responsibility of state. So it just depends on you whether you can shoulder on carrying such type of responsibilities.
I like that. I mean, it's a case of, yes, I very much agree with what Malik has said. It's very much a case of you have certain burdens that to the elephant, for example, if we go literally, the tusk is naturally part of its...
And it looks heavy, I don't know.
It looks heavy, and they are heavy. I mean,
heavy.
you can see them, they're really big ones. It can take several people to carry them. But for the elephant, no problem, you know, and if you were to put those tusks on another animal, then that animal might not be. And so similarly, if you were to give certain tasks or certain burdens to other people, those people might not be able to carry them out, might not be able to fulfill them.
Crown can be very heavy on
Well,
your
well,
head
this is it.
sometimes.
Heavy is he that wears the crown. You know, it's the head that wears the crown. So yeah, it's you know, very much a case of the elephant can deal with it, and so it has tusks, and you might be, there might be things that you can do, that you can perform, that if somebody else given the same opportunity,
It will be very hard for the
hard for them to
individual.
carry out those things. So yes, very much along
So
the
cut
lines.
your coat according to your own. I mean, don't bite more than you,
You
can
can chew.
you can swallow. You know, sometimes. I mean,
Chew.
Bite
you
off more
can
than you
chew,
can chew is
you
the
know,
phrase.
or hang your coat where you can, you know, be
Reach.
able to get it. So, I mean, it's similar to this. It's a matter of taking responsibilities. I mean, when they are shared among you, take a look at the one that you think you can accomplish on time, or you can accomplish, I mean, and be very effective. There is one thing, there is one thing to take up responsibilities, but there is another thing to be able to carry it effectively.
Well, that's right. I mean, sometimes people get dropped into situations where the responsibility and the burden is too much for them. They can't handle it. And some of them, they might resign, or they might, you know, say, take my own football team, Manchester United. You know, how many managers we've gone through in the last few years. Big club, and people who have performed at other big clubs suddenly come and they realize the enormity of the task, and they can't hack it. I think Ernest Slot is finding out the same at Liverpool. Last season, people said he got lucky and won the league, and they won it impressively. But now he's really struggling. They've lost 9 out of 12 games, and suddenly he's realizing the size of the task that he took on. Yeah. So
if they leave loads to carry, you have to pick the one that you definitely
you can
would be
lift.
able to carry.
There is a very famous local proverb that says, okay, the eyes doesn't carry a load, but the eyes will know definitely what can the head carry. You understand? Yeah, so
it's about responsibility and how light or heavy it is, depending how ready and prepared.
Yeah, but Mr. Carr, there are other responsibilities. Even if you cannot carry them, you know, you will find yourself in their midst. Let's take a look at, for example, a youngster, maybe a young man, you know, you happen to lose your parents at a very early age, you understand? And you have your siblings to take care of. You know, those are parental responsibilities.
Absolutely.
But you are very young. But you still have to adjust yourself to be able to take care of those younger ones. These are situations that are inevitable at some point.
Yeah, we are not saying you may not find yourself in a situation. But we were saying if that particular individual cannot handle that situation, he or she will break and fall apart because the tusk would be too heavy for an ant or for an antelope or for a rabbit.
Yes, quite.
And with the elephant, still is something that is manageable and light and carry on. So you can soldier on what you can take. Sometimes it's very difficult. People find themselves in very difficult and challenging situations. But can they soldier on with it, or will they break? Sometimes emotionally and mentally, such situations can make you fall apart and break. Sometimes, depending on support and other mechanisms, then you will evolve and develop the mechanism to carry on.
And for the example you've given, for the word tusk, you can substitute task. If the task is too heavy, as Malik says, you will break under it. You will wilt under the weight of the task, and you won't be able to perform.
You might be willing and ready and want to carry this load.
But it can
But if you cannot carry the load, the body will just crumble.
So therefore, in office setups and other institutional, division of labor is very important. Each and every individual will be given what you can carry.
Yeah, there are instances where you can look at 10 people who are all managers. Some are good, some are not. And, you know, they've got the same task. You say all of them, you have 10 people to manage. You have 10 people. And then you look at them, and not everybody can handle it. You see it. I mean, we've all seen it in life. You know, growing up and working, you see people who, they just can't hack being a manager because, you know, they don't have the skill set. And yet they were put in that position, maybe because they had qualifications or whatever. But then you realize that the task was beyond them. It can happen, of course.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for that brilliant interpretation. Yeah, so viewers, at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we will take a look at the papers. We'll be back.
Opticalia, Gambia's leader in optical care with 5 locations offering the best in visual health. With cutting-edge European technology, Opticalia delivers single vision lenses in just 20 minutes. At Opticalia, we care about our future. Eye exams are free for individuals under 18, ensuring everyone has access to quality eye care. But it's not just about vision. Opticalia also provides advanced audiology services to ensure your hearing health is in the best hands. Our audiology services offer European standard hearing aids and diagnostics, ensuring everyone can hear clearly. Whether it's testing or treatment, you can trust Opticalia for your auditory care. Opticalia offers European standard products, fair prices, and exceptional value all under one roof. Visit Opticalia at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia or call us on 7767-121 or at any of our regional branches. Banjul 7767-126, Brikama 7767-123, Farafenni 7767-124, Basse 7767-125. Opticalia, love what you see and hear.
Welcome back. You love what you see, Opticalia. Now let's move on to the stories on the papers. We have the Point newspaper here, and the main headline of the Point newspaper: Bissau Armed Forces arrested Mbalo opposition leader and close borders. I mean, totally, they close the borders and arrest the incumbent president and, of course, the opposition. But it is alleged that the coup is plotted and planned by Mbalo. Not confirmed, and I'm pretty sure you've heard that, Mr. Ade, you know.
Look.
Can that be possible, Mr.
Well, from the correspondence that I have seen from the opposition, that is what they are insinuating, because they are saying that they are at the edge of winning. The pronouncement of the election should have been today. And by all indications, you know, it was clear that the opposition was heading to win. And then the intervention came because of Mbalo's and the opposition statement. They just capitalized in that and then use it. So their argument is that it is the same group of people, because Mbalo comes from a military background. He was part of the infrastructure.
Still calls himself general.
Yes, and and therefore the people that took over are his friends, his mates. And reports are indicating that he was even released. His detention was very short-lived because he was held under house arrest, and now that detention, most of the restrictions are lifted. So it's very suspicious. And the guy that is supposed to be the winner is arrested. So these are the contradictions that are pointing to that direction.
We have a
Maybe
video,
Ade will
and
be able to-
we'll take a look at that video of Guinea-Bissau's election. We'll be back.
Following last weekend's election, which both the incumbent, Umaro Sissoco Embalo, and his main opponent, Fernando Diaz da Costa, claimed to have won, the country's army has now stepped in and announced that it has taken control. We contacted a journalist in the capital, Bissau, who spoke to us on the condition of anonymity, and this is what he told us.
The situation is calm for the meantime. It started at 12 when a group of soldiers has attacked the electoral committee, electoral commission. But and also we hear some shouting just close to the State House. And then at 4 o'clock, the army announced that they have the president is arrested, and with the chief commander of the army and also the minister of interior. In this moment, the soldiers are just really controlling all the situation. All the streets going to the State House as under the control of the soldiers. And also they make a communique explaining that there is a high military committee to for a situation of order has been set to get control of to manage the country, and also they announced that all the borders are closed, and also the medias also will be closed, and there is a curfew from 7 p.m. up till 6 a.m. This is the situation we are facing. About the head of state, we hear that he's arrested and is under the control of the soldiers. But the military that didn't just announce or indicate the name of the leader of the coup. This is a problem. The capital is quiet. The center of the capital is quiet. There is no circulation. People are just at home, and also all is under the control of the military. We didn't know. We are supposed to have the results of the election tomorrow, but if there is a coup one day before, this it become a matter of burning concern for us. Thinking to what is done in the country and what we are expecting for tomorrow, really we are worried about.
Profundamente comprometido com os valores de segurança nacional.
Deeply committed to the values of national security, civil peace, the defense of the country's territorial integrity, and the independence of Guinea-Bissau, the High Military Command for the Restoration of National Security and Public Order is reacting to the discovery of an ongoing plan to destabilize our country.
Reage à descoberta de plano em curso de desestabilização do nosso país para a operacionalização da qual se montou esquema.
To carry out this plan, an operational scheme had been put in place by certain national politicians with the participation of well-known national and foreign drug barons, as well as an attempt to manipulate electoral results.
Nacionais e estrangeiros, bem como tentativa de manipulação de resultados eleitorais. Para a efetivação desse plano, foi descoberto pelo serviço.
The implementation of this plan was uncovered by the State Intelligence Service using a depot of war weaponry.
De armamento de guerra. Assim, e até que toda a situação seja convenientemente esclarecida e reposta as condições para o pleno retorno à normalidade constitucional.
Thus, and until the entire situation is duly clarified and conditions are restored for a full return to constitutional normality, the High Military Command for the Restoration of National Security and Public Order has decided to immediately remove the President of the Republic, close until further notice all institutions of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau, suspend until further notice the activities of all media outlets, immediately suspend the ongoing electoral process, close land and maritime borders and the national airspace, and establish a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Em curso. Encerrar a fronteira terrestre, marítimo, espaço aéreo nacional. Estabelecer recolher obrigatório das 9 horas até 6 horas, até as horas.
Well, from the translation there,
which she got wrong,
yes,
by the way.
Yeah, you will understand
because he said from 7.
If she is quoting the army general there from word for word, I understand the army general saying there are a lot of mixture. They want to bring ammunition, drugs. He mentioned drugs as well. So I just want to understand, how does this have to do with the electoral results that are supposed to...
No, he's not talking about bringing drugs. He's saying that some of the people who want to destabilize the country are drug barons, are well-known drug barons. And as you rightly say, what has this got to do with
the election results that are supposed
because,
to be announced today?
Straight away, as Malik was saying when we came to him, straight away rumors started spreading that in fact, because Embalo knew that he had lost based on the results that were already circulated and leaked, he then, with his friends in the army, orchestrated this coup to make sure that Fernando Diaz da Costa did not take over. And as Malik also says, when you consider that Embalo was supposedly arrested and yet he was giving telephone interviews to foreign media, it does make you suspicious.
Yes, that's
to how serious his
because
arrest.
if you are arrested,
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's been deep suspicion, and as the reporter said, who of course we didn't reveal his name, because when you have men with guns running around, you don't want to reveal who the person is. People are suspicious that this comes on the eve of the announcement of the election result. So highly suspicious that it came yesterday, and nobody believes those reasons, excuses that the military have given. And they've arrested the military commander, and you've promoted that guy to general. He's not a general, by the way. I think he was a major or captain. But they've arrested the army commander.
Mr. Kara, I mean, it's not a surprise to see Guinea-Bissau, I mean, in this situation, because we did mention it on the program. We said, okay, I mean, it might come to coup d'etat, if these things continue this way. And yesterday, I mean, it turned out to be coup d'etat. So Guinea-Bissau, I think they should now take ownership. They should, I mean, take responsibilities to do away with coup d'etats. I mean, let the people's will, I mean, stand. I think that's how they should reflect now.
Yeah, you're right, but that's the underlying issue that what is being debated about, the role of politicians themselves in terms of creating this situation to the extent that these people can have excuse morally to intervene. What has been happening? Look at the whole of the West African region, what happened. In Ivory Coast we have seen. Ouattara changed the constitution, prolonged his stay. Guinea-Conakry, the same thing. Guy was there trying to change and extend. Alpha Conde, this guy in Guinea-Bissau extended his stay. He was supposed to have elections last year, extended by another 1 year. So the problem is intricate, and most of the actors are the civilians that normally create it, because power and the sweetness and the trappings of power is what blinds them to the extent that they cannot see the ramifications of their actions. And these are the consequences attendant to such actions. So that is why the best way that you can guarantee is to ensure an atmosphere that is just and democratic, and the will of the people supersedes and is respected. Where it is disrespected, it undermines and allows the military to come in.
But that situation in Guinea-Bissau is very fragile. I mean, here and there, coup d'etats. I mean, we've seen what happened in the past. I mean, it's really...
if you go online now, people in the rest of Africa, they're not saying Guinea-Bissau, they're saying West Africa. What is wrong with you people in West Africa? All the recent coup d'etats in West Africa, have been in West Africa. Whether it's Guinea-Conakry, now Guinea-Bissau, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, they've all been West African coups, in recent, you're talking about the last 3 years or so. And so, what you're getting now in the case of Guinea-Bissau, and Malik touched upon it, this guy, people have short memories, but he suspended the parliament for a whole year. No parliament sat.
That's Mbalo?
Mbalo, of course. So he was behaving like a dictator, even when he was supposedly, a democratically elected president. So he'd already shown tendencies of dictatorship. Then, of course, earlier this year, he said that he wasn't going to stand for what would have been his second term.
Yes.
And then he said, because he said his wife had told him that he shouldn't stand. And then 3 days later, he came out and said, I've changed my mind. I think I will stand. And maybe he should have taken his wife's advice, and we wouldn't be in this ridiculous situation we're in now. But it's still fluid. It's still uncertain, because we don't know, which way these guys are going to flip. And any statement they make between now and the next week, you can throw in the bin. Every time somebody has taken over in a coup d'etat, they always say, we have no interest in installing ourselves in power. And then they do.
I wanted to come. I mean, Mr.
do.
Adedrame, at the end of the time, they were, okay, we want to restore order, to make sure everything goes according to plans. But just few years to come, they will start talking about contesting for elections again.
It's the trappings of power. It's the benefits that they enjoy, and that is what clouds their judgment, and also not take the interests of the people into account. So once you are focused on that, it doesn't matter. Chaos can come, people can die, and you don't care as long as you are there. And this is the problem. Unless those are addressed, from both the civilian point of view and the military point of view, such conflicts will continue to be the case.
And I know I said, West Africa, but of course Madagascar recently had their own. And again, it was the same thing that led to it. Somebody who was in power, who was abusing power, of course, lots of young people took to the streets and the military stepped in to restore order. And straight away they announced that, all this nonsense about we should hand over in 9 months, forget it. We'll hand over when we're ready to hand over. It could be 3 years, it could be 4 years. So straight away, they're kind of moving the goalposts about what. But yeah, Guinea-Bissau, they're close to us, so of course it matters to us because
so
they're in our region.
But it can still be brutal because there are factions sometimes, with this. It's like you said, it's very fluid and we don't know. So I think people are sitting on tenterhooks and really observing as
waiting to see what will happen.
Unfolds, we hope.
So the vice president on the Fourier newspaper faces scrutiny as lawmakers challenge 150,000 jobs promise.
Yeah, I mean, that promise, when it was made, of course, it generated a lot of talk and debate because they really had not spelled out to us in any convincing way how they were going to achieve those number of jobs. I mean, it was quite a promise because we know, youth unemployment is something that any government in the Gambia will try and tackle. But you have to be honest about how you're going to tackle it. And making the claim, it really was quite a claim, debated widely, and like, how is this going to happen? What's going to create all these jobs? And of course now,
I think for me, when they talk about such job creation, they are referring to the formal and informal sector. Sometimes you create incentives, not necessarily direct employment, and that is what people are really focused on. Sometimes you create, startups, and have a lot of people in the informal sector. They would be employed, but indirectly. So it's the climate and atmosphere that you create that will generate those employments. But to add the burden of already, a well-saturated civil service, and I don't expect that's the direction to
No, it's not going to be in the civil service.
So
I mean,
it would be,
I think they always meant it to be mainly in the private sector because the civil service is already bloated. But it was, I have to say, an outrageous promise. We can't beat about the bush about this. To say that we will create 150,000 jobs, that was what was said. There's no sugarcoating.
I heard that.
We all heard it. Not informal sector. Informal sector, there are probably 500,000 jobs already. But we will create 150,000 jobs implies that you have a policy to actually bring about the situation where jobs can be created. You're not saying that government is going to employ people and so on, but you're going to create the enabling environment for it to happen.
Precisely what my mind is like, creating new apartments.
And that's what they should have said.
Yeah, we are moving on to the point. Newspaper. Government won't pay a dime in Salaji demolition. Honorable Hamad Ba.
That is if they are illegal. Government will only
if you built illegally, why should you get paid?
Because if you don't have the required documentation to construct something and you go and do it, then I think that is the emphasis. That is why he's saying that. But if they are legal, then their entitlements cannot be overridden. They must be justly compensated.
Yeah, I remember in Sierra Leone, my old school, Sierra Leone Grammar School, a guy, former military officer, built a beautiful house, like a really, really top quality house, inside our school grounds, which were quite big. Quite more than an acre. And of course he felt, because he had belonged to the army when there was a kind of army regime then, and even when I said this is illegal, when they destroyed it, I kind of felt a tinge of, because a lot of money had gone into building the house.
Where did he build that house?
Inside within the perimeter of the school in Sierra Leone Grammar School in Moritown. And they'd obviously spent, but he had been told before he even put a single brick, you cannot build here, this is school land. And he completely ignored it. And the house had been standing for about 5 or 6 years and it looked fantastic, I have to say.
So
but they destroyed it to dust. There's nothing left of it.
I've seen situations like that where they destroy $1 million houses.
But the state also should take responsibility to some extent, because when people are constructing
at
such
least to
structures,
avoid
you should stop them to say, look, you cannot build in this place. If you want, you can go to court and challenge whatever, but we are not allowing anybody. And I guess building permission have to be obtained as well before you construct certain type of structures.
And this came up during the Clear the Road, or whatever it was called, when they started destroying certain structures. And I remember we filmed one incident when the guy was saying to the people who were wrecking it with a hammer, but I have my thing from physical planning. And he said that paper is worthless. He said, because you must have bribed to get that from physical planning, because anybody at physical planning who gave you that knows that you were not allowed to build here. He said, so you can do what you want with that paper. He was quite angry with the guy, you know, and that is a problem. You know, you go and bribe somebody to give you land or allocation, allow you to build somewhere where you are not allowed to build. The person that's why you had to bribe them, because you know, and they knew, that it was not legal for you to build that.
That's totally wrong.
So,
therefore,
you know,
if you have
certainly right.
an authenticated document, regardless, you can only assume.
As far as it's from the office,
that's
I
what
think you can put your case back to the office.
Yes.
You know, but people also
officers,
the officials.
People should also, take their time in such situations. Imagine building a house of maybe $2 million, $3 million, and at the end of the time it is demolished to dust.
Yeah, well, if you follow the process and procedure with proper documentation, regardless of how, but you have been documented, then that is a bona fide acquisition.
Sometimes they don't, before they talk about documents, your house is already...
Well, that's a different case.
Look, we live in a country where you can get virtually any document if you have the money. We know, we have colleagues who have admitted to us that they got a driving license and they'd never even driven a car. So that's just another extension of this kind of bribery syndrome that exists in the country and people take for granted. What we're talking about is the extreme example of it, because you bribe, you know you're not supposed to build there, and so does the person. And just the guy who's selling you the driving license know that you've never driven a car, and yet he or she is giving you the license, and the car is a dangerous weapon, you know. And you go and you say, oh, you know, I have a driving license. You never. As one person admitted to me, he's probably watching. He said, I'd never even sat behind the wheel of a car when I got my driving license. I mean, that's quite shocking, and that's the kind of society we're in. And this is just the extreme example of it, where people go and build where they shouldn't build. Collusion between both you and the official. If they find who that official is, they should arrest them and prosecute.
And okay, we're talking about building, construction, so we'll just try to synchronize this with land ownership in the Gambia. It's becoming a very big problem. I've seen situations where, you know, 3 people, met at a particular piece of land, and they were pushing and pulling as to who owns the land, because there was a guy that was, sold the land, and he started his construction. Another man was passing and he said, oh, this is my brother's land. How can they start construction? So when they started, you know, that issue, they called a third party, and that man came and said, they sold me this land. So land is...
You mentioned it the other day, Malik.
That's what I was going to say. Land reform bill is supposed to address all these things. And to my understanding, I think that was in the making.
That's right.
To the extent that the minister was saying that they will look at all these things, you know, and, you know, holistically, and then come with something that guarantees you that your entitlement, the title that you have, the title deed you have acquired, you know, whether it's customary or otherwise, is protected in law and is registered. And this register is something that you can access online, go to look, and then look at the history of that particular land that is acquired. So this should be addressed. It's not a complicated issue to be really addressed if they want.
But they'll make it so complicated to an extent. You think it is very complicated.
We've made naming streets complicated in the Gambia. We can complicate even the simplest things, you know. And this is another one, because as Malik mentioned previously on this very show earlier in the week, if they had a mapping system, you use drones or whatever to map every inch of the country, and then you can find your piece of land and you can identify it, and it's all demarcated properly. And it really is for a country this size,
Maybe
really
you can
should not
invite
be.
the people from the lands department.
Physical
Maybe they will
planning.
provide more clarity as
Yeah,
to what is happening in these areas and what
So,
things
I
are
mean,
being done.
the Minister of Agriculture, Ms. Wonderforia newspaper, and he said government maintains groundnut price at $38,000. I watched, I yesterday, when I was coming to work, I tuned into the radio, and I don't know which station is it, but I mean, they were talking about people to be very careful of selling their groundnuts outside.
Of course.
You understand?
They subsidize the
So
fertilizers.
once you are given the subsidies, I mean, at some point you need to sell the groundnut here.
Because if I give you a fertilizer subsidy, you then plant your crop and then you go and sell it to some
that's
other.
cheating
Of course,
the Gambian
it's
people.
you know, because there's a reason why I gave you. I didn't just give you the subsidy of fertilizer just so you can.
Because it is
grow.
claimed that there are farmers that will go straight to Senegal.
Oh, we hear
and
it.
But
start-
Senegal, I don't know, last year the price in Gambia was better than Senegal a bit. So there would not be the need.
But probably accessibility, the time you're going to access your money, I mean, sometimes.
With the 2 billion they have now, I think it should be, you know, cash in hand. I
They-
don't
they-
know, but that's
well, this is
what
it.
I'm assuming. They have sufficient funds to back this season's.
Yeah. They've listened
Right.
to the concerns of the farmers who said we want cash in hand. Those who don't want cash in hand, they can pay you digitally still, because you know we all know if you go and you have
This
a
is
huge,
election year, they have to buy.
then they bought it from you, and you say, oh, I don't want to carry a big bag of money because then I could get robbed or whatever. Send it to me digitally, fine. Then that's the way. If you want it cash, and then that's it. So yeah, you're right. We hope that they've listened to the concerns of the farmers, many of whom said they wanted cash in hand. So. Yeah.
And when I was talking to our community members, they said if you come on your television, on your platform, please help tell President Adama Barrow that we are happy because we have seen the road development from St. Peter's Garage towards Makumbaya, which connects
Which
to
community
Brikama.
are we talking about?
Mandina Ring,
Your-
Babylon,
your-
CDC.
Okay.
So I am the spokesperson of that community.
I know
they
now.
Said, they
I know
said,
now.
now we are putting that to you. If you go on your morning program, please tell him we've seen the development.
So
we've seen the tar road. They've started doing a very good job, and it's easy accessible. Before it was a nightmare to get to those.
So were they not able to
areas.
tell him on the Meet the People tour?
Yeah.
Is that why they told you to?
Well, probably they believe
him.
this is going to be a bigger platform.
But yeah, whatever you say, even if you disagree with the president, you cannot fault him on these secondary and primary roads that are being constructed. It's making a huge difference to our lives. And I think
Absolutely.
the communities that
Absolutely.
are directly impacted certainly will have to appreciate
You
it.
know,
I know people say we don't eat roads,
Mr.
we don't
Mr.
eat
Kar,
hospitals and school. And
when you talk about poverty reduction, I mean, roads are part of it at some point.
Absolutely.
Imagine if you were to drive long distances. I mean, the amount of petrol you're gonna, burn.
Well, you were just mentioning the groundnuts, and one of the things that we got on the last Meet the People tour were people who are groundnut farmers who were saying that, oh, because of the road that's now been built, it's easier for me to take my produce, my harvest at the end of the season because the road is much better than it was before. So yeah, I mean there are all these benefits. As Malik says, you hear people say, "Oh, we don't need roads," but roads make a huge difference.
Not
Good
doing
roads,
it
particularly.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Thank you, Mr. Ade. We will take a short break. After the break, then we're going to continue this program. We'll be back. Gila Bila radiyallahu anha waɗi noddingol folongol e Islam. Noddingol tawa e diine men on. Julɓe ɓen noddinte ɗoye ɓe yahude ɓe juula. Enen fof daroɗen dula goto. Si tawi ka jogiɗo ma ala. Fof juula laaɓi joyi e ñallal ngal. Aji Bank Limited no welti fi tawede laaɓi tati oɗo azan competition fi ɓe dépensamo ɓe ɓeydanamo doole. ɗum ɗo ko fi tun hoolagol ko wonɗen kon ha para yiɗa daro fonka ko annduɗa ɗum ɗon woni ko hawti en kon ɗum woni hoolagol ha para noon kadi noddingol fi juulen awa tawe ɗum ɗo joni an kadi ɓeydita hen e sengo ko annduɗa ko ɗum woni noddingol waɗu vidéo joni nulda e WhatsApp hara hiɗa noddina e oɗon nomba 33 73 555 ɗo e balɗe capantati e go'o lewru December 2025 meɗen jogi yimɓe ɓe annduɗa hiɓe jogi gandal ko kamɓe darata te noon kadi min noddoya on ɗo ka QTV fi wawa yiide poɗodiron e ko ɓura andirede e final on fi wawa on yiide on gañike te noon ɓe jonniray ko annduɗa ko ɗum woni certificate ji mbuuɗi kañum kadi e piiji boyi 2026 national and competition ko Ajib Bank dépensi ɗum Ajib Bank yo investment partner.
nayine dake network koto mi yalonko wole warta nyim banko kan adung adabe soniaring wala nyama imuna fang telefono la mi yalonko abe seniaring adung internet wobe tariaring nyindum kiusel dorna sinyin nati aleno ibori yela kiusel line ota customer care mi suti atima bi kiusel network ko mi warta network ko beti adung adabe soniaring kiusel sunu boss ndolla silo walang dulia bulan noma.
Welcome back. This is QTV This Morning. Now let's head to the third segment of this program, and we'll be taking a look at migrants activists on irregular migration. And we have two gentlemen here. I believe those that follow migrant situation, I mean, when we saw Ibrahima on the screen, you would be able to recognize him, because you've been giving us a lot of updates as far as migration is concerned, irregular migration. And, you know, it's important for us to engage him on this program, because migration, irregular migration, is now becoming part of our lives. We're seeing our youngsters embarking on this journey. And what can we do to make sure we try to bring a solution? And we have Ibrahima and Adrian. You are welcome, Adrian, on QTV. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
I hope you're having a good time in the Gambia.
Well, for the last 20 years, yes.
Oh, yeah.
He lives here.
Oh, he's a Gambian. A Gambian then.
He's a Gambian.
Yeah, so Ibrahima, it's good to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you guys too here.
Yes, finally. The other day when we were talking on this platform, it was on a video call. You were in a train traveling.
In the boat.
Yeah, in a boat,
Yeah.
traveling. So we couldn't establish the connection properly. So thank God we have you here today. Ibrahima, would like to start. Tell us about how you started the migration update, the migrant situation update.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aliu. I leave this country like 13 years ago. I myself is a migrant. I leave this country like 2013, but in 2014 I arrived in Italy through this crazy Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean. From here to Mali, other Burkina, just like other migrants, we all go the same way. So I arrived in Libya in the time of I think Gaddafi. It was a war, very hard. So from there we traveled by the Mediterranean, arrived in Italy. I see lots of things, what's happening in the journey. Lot of murders, kidnappings, rapes and other things. So I get a lot of experience in the journey, because nobody can tell me what is it. I was part of the system. So the time I arrived in Italy, so I see, okay, I came by this way, what can I do also? I'm also a migrant. So I said, okay, the time we are coming here in Italy, there is no information. Normally, the migrants get back home, their families and other things. So what can I also do? The people who are back home can get information. So this is the time, I think 2016, I start this migration activist. I go with communication, follow migrants, how they come in, how they do, how they wait, because I know the system. I myself then contacted a lot of NGOs who are working in the ship, like humanitarian ones, Sea-Watch, Alarm Phone, because at Alarm Phone, their CEO is a very good friend of mine. We are even expecting them here in Gambia in some months coming, with refugees in Libya, they are co-founders and others. So I have collaboration with these people. Sometime before me, I think 3-4 years back, I myself go for rescue people in the sea.
Oh, okay.
With this humanitarian, because they are humanitarian, it's just a voluntary. So we go to rescue people because this is how. So I try to make a platform for every Gambian, not only Gambian, only Gambian, but for Africa. Because normally in a day I get like 700 calls, messages. Like my numbers are like things like we call it hotline, just like in Gambia here when you say 911 and all this thing. Because normally these migrants who are in the sea, who are in the desert, we try to communicate with them to get information from them. How are you? What is happening there? Some will say we are in the sea. Then we try how can rescue these people. We communicate with them through alarm phone and other rescue boats and other things. Just to try. I can say last year alone, I myself rescued more than 4,000 Gambians, not only Gambian, African migrants from the sea. So, and I feel happy to do this job. It's not easy for me. It's very hard. We try to do, but the reason I was doing this because I want to communication the people back home, the families back home to know what is going on.
Because they are worried.
They are worried, yes. As even now I'm coming here, many calls are coming. There's a boat that departed here like 10 days ago. More than 65 women and children are in this still mission.
Oh, wow.
So families are crying every day. So normally they don't have place to go. They don't have government to go. Our people are mission. They don't have any NGOs to go or no international community. So normally they do is come to Ibrahim.
So how do people get your number to be able to contact you with this sort of information? That's always intrigued me.
For me, my number, even today I changed my number. I put new number. Tomorrow 10,000 people will get it. You'll just call someone and tell, hey, Ibrahim, he changed his number. There's another number here. So my numbers cannot be hid. It's always on the air. So normally when they call us, we try to communicate. We contact with the authorities, both in those who are in the Mediterranean or the Spanish, with the rescues, the navies, the Coast Guard, Interpol, anyone we can have access to who can rescue these people. We try to do this. But at the moment, as we all know, as you say, in this country, migration is a big problem here, and people are not aware of this. We just pause. We can see. Maybe Andre will tell you later.
So let's engage him.
So Adrian, so what's your connection with this?
Okay.
This activism and this kind of.
I'll make this quick because it's a long story. My name is Adrian Courage. I came to the Gambia back in 2006 and haven't left. Married with some 5 children here. I worked for Ballysneedham for a number of years as the HSSE manager. And I lived in the URR, CRR, LRR regions.
Oh yeah, okay.
During the course of the project, the mandate on Ballast was to employ at local level as we went down each, 10 kilometres, we'd employ Bansang, and we'd continue on. So I interacted with the local community in the villages. Most of them haven't seen a white person in those days, even still now, Tubab, So I interacted over maybe 5-6 year period with the families, imams, al-Qailos, to ask them permission for access to water, laterite. So I was engaging with also recruiting as well at the same time. So over that period of 5-6 years, I towards the tail end of it, 2013, 2014, I saw a dip in the youth.
Okay.
There was more elders left on the farms. Farms were becoming a little bit more dust bowls. The family nucleus was changing in the villages. And I realised that I had to look at this more closely because I was asking where is this chap gone? I was employing for a number of years. He left the back way, this, that. So all of a sudden, I realised there was one building built in Brikama, close to Brikama inside. And it was built a concrete block and a boundary wall, and there was a automobile outside and a small moped for the grandfather. Then all of a sudden that village wanted to aspire to that, and this young man they sold some land and some livestock and sent this guy on the back way. So everyone was kind of looking to aspire to that. So they said, well, they were all trying it. Then everyone was sending their children, and I'm saying, no. It's not possible, Okay, you have internal migration where a lot of them were coming to Combos looking for a chance to meet a Tubab or whatever, but the majority were going back way. So after the project finishes, I decided to look into this deeply and really look at it, because it was becoming like URR, CRR, LRR from Soma down to Bassi was becoming a dust bowl, even to this day. So you had elders there that were meant to hand those farms over to the youths, obviously,
Yeah, of
keep
course.
it in the family. That was now not happening. So basically, what was meant to be the food basket, which would be that region, because you have the River Gambia, all it needs more irrigation, and then you have, you know, the possibility of becoming its food basket for the Gambia. So I decided to go Mufti and go to Libya, went to Tunisia, Lampedusa, and then I had an opportunity to get on the naval boat. I also had an opportunity to get into the detention centres, the female and male detention centres, to have a look at really, if you're going to do something about a subject, know the subject. So I did a deep dive into it over about 6 months, and I decided to come back. Then I looked at the gaps here and what the problems were. One is sensitization. The lack of information for children. It should start in the schools. That's where the battleground of all this has to start, really. There needs to be migratory programs. Children need to be taught about migration, both regular and irregular, because they're also safe pathways.
Of course. Yeah.
So one of the biggest gaps was missing migrants. So I decided to look into the missing migrant scenario, where, you know, with all these human rights regulations, African Charter, European Union, your human rights, about the right to be identified in death, for every human being. It's a right, yeah. And when I went to Lampedusa, for argument's sake, the amount of bodies that I witnessed there, just incredible. You know, people being buried in unmarked graves. It got me because, you know, whether you're black, white, Chinese, Japanese, it doesn't matter. We're all human beings sharing this planet called Earth. Yeah. So the point I was looking at was, what are they doing for this? What information? Is there a database? Is there post-mortem, you know, general post-mortems being collected in Lampedusa, Gran Canaries? Very small, yeah. My point is this, and as a European, I'll give you a quick analogy. If there was a cruise liner with 500, let's say Tubab, white people, all right, on holidays in the Mediterranean, and I was in trouble, and you had 4 boats, canoes, open boats, with 600 migrants. Both of them at the same time get into trouble. They're sinking. Who's going to get the attention first? Well, obviously it'll be the cruise liner. You'll have Sky News, ticker tape at the end of the news channel, flotilla after flotilla. So there's an unequal. The equity there is very unequal, and it's racial. It's all of these things. Yeah. So I decided to register a foundation here, and I joined with a memorandum of understanding with Ibrahim on missing migrants. At the same time, I got a data partnership agreement with one of the biggest forensically aware organizations in Europe. A data partnership agreement with the International Commission of Missing Persons. And why I did that? You can collect as much data as you want, ante-mortem from parents, okay? But where are you going to go with that data? There needs to be a bridge between the Gambia or Africa and Europe. So I signed this milestone agreement on the 15th of July. I went to The Hague and I signed it. That meant it gave me access. If I collect ante-mortem data here, I can then match post-mortem data.
Yeah, sure.
And they've got one of the biggest databases in Europe. So I built the bridge. Now it's just a question of collecting data, putting it out there, and trying to get funding. Everything we both do together is philanthropy. None of it's funded by any government. We've knocked on. We've been to the presidential office. We've been everywhere. Okay, just to get us known, to say what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I decided to sign a memorandum of understanding with Ibrahim. We launched a missing migrants campaign already. We're doing in the middle. We're in the process of doing a countrywide tour. In 3 weeks, I've received 4,400 missing migrants. So we've been overwhelmed. I knew the problem was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. I'm just going to show you the poster we're actually using at the moment, just so that people could understand it. That's the poster we're actually using. If you can pan in there, just to have a look at that.
Can we get that?
So what we wanted to do between myself and Ibrahim, because Ibrahim has the reach factor, he's got the celebrity status, and he's got about 30,000 followers on his platform. I decided that this was a good marriage.
Yeah, quite.
Whereas I could get this on his platform, We could both work together as humanists and as humanitarians because our heart is very much there.
Yeah.
We've received 4,400 to date in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Now that's incredible.
Wow.
The stories are the same.
And all from the Gambia.
Gambia.
Yeah.
All
Wow.
Gambian.
These are
All
Gambians,
Gambian.
yeah.
All Gambian. We have a data set now prepared. We're ready to go live on the data entry with the International Commission.
Okay.
They're trying to raise funds. The problem is, you know, missing migrants don't come into the equation when it comes to EU funding,
Yeah.
government funding. Yet you have the African Charter, Resolution 486 on refugees and migrants, which, you know, the protection of migrants, family protection. But there's no funding for these human rights. So if you put human rights in place and you ask governments to, you know, adhere to this.
So at this point,
So
we'll
this is
engage
where we're
Ibrahim.
at, yeah.
So tell us some of the dangers, I mean, these people face on this journey.
Yeah, at the moment, before, if you see this back way, like I was saying before, for us, we go through this Sahara Desert. Sahara Desert is the most dangerous place in the world you cannot find. I have witnessed a lot of people who
more
die.
dangerous than the sea.
Yeah, they are 6 and 9.
Oh.
In the Sahara, because without food, they are not in the sea. Maybe in the sea it's more easier. You can die maybe in 2-3 minutes time. Maybe you can go swallow this and you can. But in Sahara, you can be in this hot sun, screaming, hydration, everything. It takes you more than hours before you die. So they are just 6 and 9. So, but at the moment, the Gambians who are here at the moment, they are not taking this back way to like these North African countries, like Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and other things, because they are worse. In humanitarian, they are the worst country. If you yourself, you are working for humanitarian, it's a disaster for you. You are in a trouble, you can be in a problem in any day. Because I work with people who are there, we sponsor, we do everything on them.
Algeria?
In Tunisia, yes, both of them. Tunis, Algeria.
Meaning taking that route is dangerous.
It's more dangerous. And people in Gambia now, they see new opportunity has come into our doors. To take a boat from Bara, take a boat from Katong, Tangier, anywhere. Even now I hear people take a boat from Farafenni and other, I don't know how they call. Pirang, or every part of Bako, Kunku, Baflo, and others. So they see this as a big opportunity, because when you are in Libya, you can be kidnapped. Even some days I was having some GoFunds and looking for GoFunds. One parent was calling me crying. He sent me a video. These videos are disaster. You can't even watch them. His son was beaten mercilessly. He doesn't have fund to sponsor to rescue his son from these people. They just kidnap him. So, but here in Gambia, nobody kidnaps you. When you're in Libya, they take you to detention prison. Those prisons are hell. I have some videos here. Just last night, they sent it for me. This is worse. But many of they are not Gambians. Many are from Sudan, Eritreans. Because I work with some communities with them, with some CEO of refugees in Libya. Today is in Addis Ababa for some. So that way, people are not going. Here in our own footsteps, here is the problem. You just take your dinner from your home. After dinner, you go inside the taxi. Next 20-15 minutes, you are in the boat. This month alone, in my life, in my entire life, I never see Gambia migration was moving until this month.
This month?
This month, the data system
the worst in the history
is
of
the
the
worst.
Gambia. 1,960 people have left the shores of the
Live
Gambia
in this country.
from the 4th to the 24th of November.
Just 20 days.
20 days.
So this is too much.
That's a lot.
And we have 24 days.
That's a village in 20 days.
So
if you think
yes,
about it.
when you go to see some villages, there are less than 20 people.
Less than that,
less than 2,000 people. So these people are living. So it's a problem. Gambians are really migrated, and these are not only Gambians.
So we understand the issue of migration. I mean, let's be realistic. We cannot stop it. We can talk about it, sensitize people.
Absolutely.
Probably we can reduce it. So what advice do you have for the youngsters, I mean, that are ready to embark on this journey?
Listen to what we have to say, because it's all true. Both of us have witnessed it. And we're listening to crying parents every day about, if I'd only known. It's sad, but it's true. Don't even try it. Because the percentages are so low of you making it. You've got to remember you have the Geneva Convention. Unless you're coming from a war-torn country or you're otherwise persecuted, the people from Eritrea, they've got good reason to go. From other countries that are having political problems. If we had the dictatorship as we did in Yahya Jammeh's time, then you would justifiably get exile and you would be getting asylum. But anybody leaving the Gambia shores now thinking they'll make it in Europe, the answer is no. Why? The Geneva Convention, which was incepted back in the World War II, will never allow you. So you'll end up in the black market, abused, in mealy labour jobs, cleaning toilets, things that Tubabs will not do, washing dishes. You know, so the misinformation. There's many, many factors beside it. Okay, you have the drivers there. One of the drivers is minimum wage. There isn't any minimum wage. The poverty's going to be still there unless unless there's a fixed wage where people can actually have in the cost of living. It's fundamental. So that's one of the biggest drivers. Secondly, the information. Youths need to be informed in school from the ages 13 up. There needs to be a program in situ to teach children about legal pathways through sponsorship, through education. Education will set you free, nothing else. Not a trip to Europe where you won't get in anyway because the Geneva Convention says no, because the Gambia is a peaceful country.
And I was going to say, apart from the Geneva Convention and all these other things, we have now seen over the last 4 or 5 years the rise of anti-immigrant parties.
It's disgusting what's happening
across Europe.
Even in my own country.
And
the riots, the racism I'm seeing, even I'm embarrassed in my own country.
Are you Irish?
Doing. I'm Irish.
I thought from
so
the
even
accent.
in Ireland at the moment, it's a huge problem.
Yeah, sure.
So there's already social unrest in Europe. Now you throw in the migrants into the mix. They're open targets for racism. You know, so Europe itself, because all the governances in Europe are all far right. Am I right or wrong? I mean, Angela Merkel was there. She was a fair woman. She had the Migratory Pact. It was good. It was balanced. Now at the moment, if you're migrant, sorry.
And look at Italy, Meloni.
Italy, and then this thing in you know, so. The climate, the climates in these countries not right. It's not accepting any of it.
Well, you see, I mean, that's the reality. That's the communication that should be put to the youngsters. I mean, those who have the intention, because they think the Europe got it all. You understand? Without you going to Europe, you won't be able to make it, and that's the notion. But I think also governments, I mean, should step up and support the youth of the population and create space for them.
Absolutely.
We've seen on the paper the National Assembly called on the Vice President and asked him about the 150,000 jobs that they promised the people of the Gambia. So it's not just a matter of promises, but also delivering at some point.
But implementation. But we can't get government because people. The project we're on here, people will look at this. This is good for government, you know, and there's an election coming up. So we try to step away from that because we're purely humanitarian. We're not going to get involved in UDP, NPP, and all that because we now are working with BAC and KMC. But we told them straight up that this is non-political. This is we just want access to the people and to pay due respect to the actual municipalities that were working in your area. So. You're 100% correct in the sense of sensitization and governance. But the governance needs to be more parental governance when it's attached to this.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Rather than this top-heavy governance.
So, Ibrahima, can we go to Ibrahima for a final message? You have 30 seconds.
Yes. What I can tell the Gambians is that the campaign we want to start to go for sensitization is not a bad way. It's not the solution, and it can't be solution.
No.
We are not welcome in Europe. They don't want us. Let the government try it. We meet a lot of government officials here, government NGOs, all the mayors and other things. What our message is not a back way. Let the government, the other NGOs, let them stand for the youth to see what we can do. In Europe, we are not welcome. We are just going, but we are not welcome. When you go here, you leave your women, girls, men, your father's children and other things before you go and having documents and other things. You spend more than 10 years before you build. So the next 10 years to come back here is another. So my voice to them, my voice, other voice, my mother, my father, everyone, let's all join our hands together and say no to Bagwe.
Thank you very much,
gentlemen.
Ibrahima.
Adrian,
Thank you for coming. So at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll head to the last segment of this program. We'll be back.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Bokal si network bu gëna rëy gëna yombale si réewi Gambia bi fii jëfandikool call bu set internet bu gaaw li yëpp si njëg bu yomba fii si QCell dawal léegi si suñ customer care bu la gëna jege ñu may la QCell line te doo si fay dara QCell network bu gëna rëy te it gëna yombale si réew mi fii QCell suñu bas ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
These tracks have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain, and stretched. Moments when every fiber of my being screams, give up. But the fire within me won't let me quit. Despite the burning muscles, in this sport, every moment matters. Every second counts. My failures, my dreams, my pain, my triumphs, they propel me forward beyond all limits. I am Gina Mariam Basbite, and this is Sunyubus.
This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's move on to the last segment of this program, Sports Wall, and we have Momodu Gajaga. He was in Saudi Arabia to attend the Islamic Solidarity Games, and you know, it was very interesting. For those of you that followed this program the past weeks, we've been talking to Gajaga via video call, and we have Gajaga already. Good morning.
Good morning, Ibrahim Abalde. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
What have you brought for us? I mean,
I brought a bronze medal for you.
Yes.
She's sitting over there.
Oh, wow.
Aissatou Sy, women's 4x100 meters.
Oh,
she's the one who finished the race.
That's
fantastic runner. She did very, very well. But they're a team together.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she came
Good
to
morning,
represent the
Aissatou. And how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
It's good. It's good to have you, and thank you very much for that medal. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please. She's Mariama Salah, their
Mariama
coach.
Salah. Oh, wow,
she's the one behind the success.
Wow, that's my mom here. My mom is Salah. Yeah, so, I mean, Gajaga will allow you to engage them.
Yes, most definitely. So first, we'll say Gambia participated in the 6th Islamic Solidarity Games. This is a competition in which I would say majority Muslim countries do participate in, but of course, you have other countries also who are invited. So 57 countries took part, including the Gambia. In various sporting disciplines, Gambia took part in judo, it took part in karate, took part also in track and field, and also other sporting disciplines, many of them. But overall, the performance is not bad enough. There are competitions where they reach the semi-finals. There are competitions where they even reach the finals but fail to get a medal. But in athletics, the tracks, which is like Gambia always delivers when it comes to athletics on the tracks. The 100, 200 meters, 4x100 meters, and also sometimes even the 4x100 meters as well. So in the women's category, at the finals, it was a very, very tough race. But the women's team did fantastically well, and Aissatou C was behind that. Aissatou, first, congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Gajaga.
How does it feel to eventually win a medal for the Gambia, the bronze medal, looking very shiny? You can just have it up a little bit. Yes, tell us.
It feels good, yeah. It's really good because it's a dream for me, representing my country, coming home with a medal. Yeah, it's a big dream.
Yeah, so that 25 is 25 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it comes to the competition itself, there is a point where you reach the finals, but just fourth position. You could have made it third position. In fact, you were third until the finish line. What happened?
Yeah, it was very tough, though, because as you can see, many of our athletes can't even reach to the final. So it was like I was the only one who reached to the final. It was very difficult, very, very difficult, because we don't have a track here in Gambia. So we are training on this sand, and it's very difficult. Like for me, I used to sacrifice and go to Dakar to have access at the stadium. So it's very difficult.
So you do that at personal level?
Yeah, sacrificing her own resources to go to Dakar and train at the High Performance Center, because that's where the athletic tracks are. Currently the stadium is closed, it's under renovation. But even before that, the tracks at the stadium are not, good enough for athletes to run.
You can see even before we went to Saudi Arabia, our head coach did a very good job, because she tried so hard going to the NOC to make sure that we have access to the track before going. So we have almost 1 week at Kaulak then before we went to Saudi.
Okay, that's fantastic. Just for now, Coach Mariama Sallah, you played a huge role in this success at the Islamic Games for the women's team to win the bronze medal. It could have been better. You watched the men's also perform. Your overall assessment?
Well, thank you very much, Gajaga. It has been a very, very, very great and successful outing for us. Like I said, right now we don't have tracks in the country, and seeing the athletes doing that great performance in Saudi is very great, that I can say. Because even when you talk to people and you tell them we have no tracks, they used to question that. No tracks, you mean? I said, yeah, we don't have tracks in the Gambia. But where do you train? I said, we train on sand and grasses. Because we use the golf, the beach, and a park.
So when you talk about the golf, is the Fajara golf course?
Golf, yeah. That's where we train.
That's where you train?
Yeah, most of the time.
And they should be running on the tracks.
Yeah.
You train on
the
that
grass.
When your actual competition is going to be on the track.
It's a bit soft, that's why, because we have the grass there, but now the rainy season is gone. So they are drying up.
Drying up completely, yes.
Yeah.
So
it will be difficult to run on. So it's just rather unfortunate. That's why we are just always appealing to the government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, to help us with this track. And definitely the last time I spoke to the Honorable Minister, Honorable Bakari Baji, he did assure me that the tracks will be fixed, maybe before mid next year. Yeah. So we are hoping on that, but we couldn't sit down and just wait for the tracks. We have series of competition coming. So the Islamic Games was one of them, the school games was one of them. Now, in fact, next month we have the Olympic qualifier for the Olympic Youth Games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the Youth Games is going to be in Dakar?
In Angola.
Angola, yeah.
So that competition will serve as qualifier for Dakar 2026, which is just next door.
Wow, it's almost here.
Yeah, which is just next door to us.
And in that Dakar competition for the Youth Games, Gambia cannot afford to say, okay, they didn't qualify on this category or on that category. They have to have a strong presence, because that is just in Dakar, Senegal, and it's the Youth Olympic Games. That's where you develop the youngsters to get them to the next level of athletics. In fact, to get to the senior level and start competing at the highest level. Well, Mariama, The men also ran in various events, the 100 meters, the 200 meters. The 4x1, there was injury problem. You can talk about those.
Yeah, in fact, like sports and injury, I think they related. So it was rather unfortunate that it happens on the tracks, I can say, because the team was already from the first call room, second call room, and approaching the tracks at the stadium. In fact, all of them were at their different points, first batting, second batting, third, and the final batting. So they were all on point. So it is the third batting, Ibrahim, that's the third batting here, from the 200 end there, Ibrahim Kamara. So as he was entering the stadium, he was just doing like high knees, and that's when the calf hold on, so he cannot move it. So he tried moving it again, it's not moving. So, which is telling you that he can run. Yeah, with that he can run. And relay is 4 people. 4 people ran the relay. So, you see.
And we didn't have a reserve at the time.
We didn't have a reserve
so how
at
did
the time.
you manage?
So we have to get out of the race.
They got out of the race.
We have to withdraw.
Withdraw completely, and then they're already on the tracks.
On the tracks.
And there was high optimism, I think, before
of
that
course,
at least
as you can
maybe.
see, when I saw Adama coming from the second bar approaching us at the stands.
Yes.
So I just walked down the stairs and then went to meet him. And he told me that Ibrahim has an injury. He cannot run. I said, why? He said, and anyway, it's the leg. I said, and that's it. So that's when they started withdrawing. The first batting withdrew, Adama withdrew, and then Ibrahim too. Then we called Ali. Ali, in fact, didn't know what was going on. So after Ali was called and informed that Nesta has an injury, so we have to withdraw. So that is the will of God. So that's it. We were prepared enough, definitely, to run that relay, but unfortunately, this is what God says.
But those things do happen.
Yeah.
Well, I said to you are a young athlete. Hopefully, the next Ginabas, is he your mentor? Is he somebody that you look up to? And then other athletes at a higher level?
Yeah, she's someone that every young athlete look up to her. Yeah, she's a legend. She's a star, and everyone wants to be like her and more. Yeah.
And for you, what are you looking forward to in the future? Because your timings have improved at the Islamic Games this year.
Yeah.
Your first race in the semi-final stage, you reached the finals, and then the bronze medal that you've won as well. For every race, your time has got better.
My timing has improved a lot. Because the beginning of the season, I ran like 11:81. It was my PB, personal best. Yeah, and my 200 was 23:99. So you can see at the Islamic Games, the hits I ran 11:64, and the final I break it down to 11:62.
Oh, fantastic!
And the 200 meter also, it was like from 23:99 to 23:48. It was a very good improvement. Yeah. So I'm planning more and more and more. I just want to reach at the highest level where everyone in the world will be like, I said to see, yeah.
Oh, great. And how are you going to manage these challenges so far of the tracks? So will you be doing side trainings for yourself at the beach or and in terms of competition also?
Yeah, I will be going back to my coach, Raymond. Yeah, we are training at the Fajara Golf. So right now I will be training, like I just have to do a little pre-season. Then after then I will be going back to Dakar to sacrifice again. So that I can have access to the stadium so that the next season will be more better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mariama, just maybe to talk about why didn't we do well, very, very well in athletics? Because the expectation was very, very high for the men's, the women's, maybe probably a gold medal, probably another silver medal and a bronze medal, maybe at least 3 or 4 medals in athletics. What were these shortcomings? I know you talked about the injury already, but maybe you can look at the other aspects of it.
Yeah, the first thing is the facilities. It's very important. Having the tracks, because athletics is run on a standard track. So with the absence of that, it's always a problem. And that is why I talked to the NOC for them to at least sponsor the team, especially the home-based athlete, for us to go to Kaolack at Estad Lamin Gay in Kaolack here. They have a very good stadium. That's where we were training for 8 days training camp, and sponsored by the National Olympic Committee. My thanks to them, because if that wasn't the case, it would have been another thing. Because the girls normally every day when we were there, I said we train double, both morning and afternoon, in the evening. And in the evening, always we have relays. We work on our relays, the transition, work on our exchange, all those things we are considered, we are trained for. So in fact, I was expecting more, but the transition, as you can see, the starter was a bit slow, because she was one of the recruits at the Gambia Police Force. So she was doing her training. So it was after upon graduation that she came and joined training again to her training group. So that was the one lapse we have. But in all, they've done well. They've done well. For the boys, you know, some of them were in France, 3 of them. Only one of them joined from the Gambia, Ansu. Adama was in France preparing, Ali was in France, and Ibrahima too was in France. They were all in France preparing. So it's rather unfortunate. Ibrahima and Ansu, they made it to the second round of the 100 meters, and then to the finals they couldn't. So the race was tough, and definitely for the 200 too, the same thing. The first they have the semi-finals, straight semis, and then they couldn't make it to the finals, the boys. But the girls, Aisatu, as you can see, made it to both finals, both 100 and 200. So,
let's talk briefly about Ansu Baji, who is a local athlete based here, running on the normal sand, unless when you had this short training camp in Senegal. She did well.
Of course.
In the 100 meters, she improved her timing in the second race. And, you know, she's an athlete, or he's an athlete that has potential for the future.
Of course. Ansu is good, in fact, because his reaction is very good. As you can see, in the first 60 meters, he was there. He just need to add up the strength. I think from when he works on that, so he will be up there. Yeah.
So finally, you know, what do you have for young athletes, I mean, who aspire to be, you know, where you are? I know there was a time you also looked at someone, you know, at your position, and you were like, I want to be like her. Now you are looking at Gina Bass. Tomorrow you might be more than Gina. What do you have to tell them?
Train hard, believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. That no one tells you that you can't. Everyone can do it, if you trust the process. It's not easy, but it will surely be okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Guy.
Yes, Mariama, just on a final note, you're also preparing for the games in Angola, which is going to be a qualifier for the Youth Olympic Games in Dakar. How far are the preparations? Maybe in just under 1 minute.
Yeah, the preparation are in high gears, because yesterday I just met the athletes when I came from Saudi, and definitely I can tell you that these are under 16 athletes and they are raw. So we'll have to start from the beginning, work on their starting blocks. You know, now in athletics, you don't run like sprint without using the block. So you have to know how to use the block. So we have to work on that. That is my first priority now. Work on the blocks, maybe the middle and long distance for them, they are okay. The jumps too, we just need to furnish them on basic things, but for the block work, that is the problem now. And we will work on that, inshallah.
Thank you very much, and wish you all the best in subsequent events for the Gambia, and we hope that more medals will come our way.
Thank you,
Thank
Gajaga.
you.
Thank you very much. And we wish you all the best of luck. Yeah, so viewers, this is all we have for today. Until we come again next week, have a wonderful day.